We already know that amusement parks are beautiful and have several cool rides. However, over time, some parks unfortunately had to close their doors for various reasons: lack of visitors, bankruptcy, nuclear accident, and even hurricane. And with that, they were abandoned looking like scenes from a horror movie. Discover now the most hideous abandoned amusement parks in the world. Just as there are ghost towns, there are also ghost parks around the world. That is, parks that were completely abandoned and their structure still remains there. The mission is not for the weak. Travel around the world recording the ghastly decay of amusement parks abandoned for the most different reasons. There is no denying that the images are chilling and prove that there is much more to the world than we imagine. Six Flags New Orleans. An abandoned park in New Orleans, United States, gained a reputation as haunted after curious people claimed to have heard strange noises and flashing lights, even though there is no longer any electricity supply in the place. Closed since Hurricane Katrina in 2005, Six Flags, originally called Jazzland, has decaying roller coasters and rusty rides. Pripyat Amusement Park. Pripyat Amusement Park is an abandoned theme park located in Pripyat, Ukraine. It was to be opened during the May 1, 1986 celebrations, but plans were cancelled on April 26 when the Chernobyl disaster occurred a few kilometers from the park. Some sources report that the park opened quickly on April 27 before the evacuation announcement, and a website shows photos of the park in operation. Theories that the park was hastily opened as a result of the disaster to distract residents are based on the fact that some rides were never completely finished, such as the Ferris wheel, which has an incomplete coating. Either way, the park became a landmark of the Chernobyl nuclear accident. Takakanonuma, Greenland. Fukushima is not an easy district. In addition to the terrible accident with the nuclear power plant, there are still bizarre things there. The best known of these is Takakanonuma Greenland Park, also known as Terror Park. No one wants to go near this place. Some stories even speak of deaths on the spot. The park opened in 1973 but remained open for only 2 years. In 1986 the place reopened, but closed permanently in 1999. Okpo Land. Also known as the Amusement Park of Death, the Korean park has a bloody past. The date of its opening is unknown. It was probably 20 years old when it closed in 1999 after a repeat horrible accident. In the late 1990s, a young woman was killed during a duck-themed ride. Her parents received no compensation, explanation, or apology, and the park remained open. However, in 1999, another girl was thrown when the same ride derailed. After the accident, the owner of the park simply disappeared and left the park abandoned. Chippewa Lake Park. exactly 100 years contemplated Chippewa Lake Park on Lake Chippewa, in Ohio, in the United States. The lack of visitors was the reason for the closure in 1978. The park remained preserved for over 30 years. Nara Dreamland. This park is in Nara, Japan. When it was built and opened its doors, it lived up to all the expectations of children's fantasies. When it opened in 1961, it was even labeled by the press as the Japanese answer to Disneyland, which was so successful in the United States. However, this dream did not live happily ever after. About 45 years after the theme park opened, Nara Dreamland's popularity began to decline dramatically. Until the park became unsustainable and had to close its doors once and for all. Abandoned, the amusement park saw its colors disappear, corrupted by rust, while laughter was replaced by silence, and people by undergrowth. Spreepark. The former Kulturpark Planterwald, built in Germany in 1969, was transformed into the Spreepark in 1989. The site closed in 2002 for financial reasons, and part of the attractions were moved to Peru. Starting in 1999, the park had to deal with huge debts. The increase in admission per person and the lack of parking contributed to the decline in visitor numbers, until, in 2001, only 400,000 visitors entered the park. Since 2002, the park has not been open to visitors. In August 2002, the park was declared insolvent. Debts at the level of €11 million remained, and the area was left in ruins. The Ferris wheel was dismantled in 2021 and the parts kept for possible reuse. The remains of other attractions can still be found at the site. Joyland Amusement Park. After 55 years in business, the Joyland Amusement Park, in Kansas, in the United States, closed in 2006. The Ferris wheel, manufactured that operated there since its opening in 1949, was the site of an accident in mid-April 2004, when a 13-year-old girl fell from a height of approximately 10 meters and was seriously injured. Due to economic problems and safety concerns, the park had to close for the 2004 season. Interest in it rose again in 2006 when a company leased it to restore and open parts of it. After financial concerns, they did not open for another season. Since then it has sat empty, uncared for and deteriorated. Since its closure in 2004, it has been subjected to numerous incidents of vandalism and looting. Nearly every building is covered in graffiti, and the vintage plaque at the top of the coaster was stolen in 2009. Administration offices were also destroyed. Lincoln Park. Inaugurated in 1894, Lincoln Park became a very successful amusement park in the United States. Even President John Kennedy and his children frequented the place, according to the American newspaper Boston Globe. The park remained open for nearly a century, until a fatal accident on the Comet roller coaster in 1986 in which a man died, which led people to question the security of the park, which closed a year later. In July 2012, the 3,000-meter-long wooden roller coaster was demolished. Gulliver's Kingdom. Gulliver's Kingdom opened in 1997 and was in close proximity to Mount Fuji. That is, in addition to the fun, it would be possible to have a great view. Also, the park was well located, as it was also easily accessible from Tokyo. However, even so, there was no adequate financial return for the maintenance of the space. The park was inspired by The Tale Gulliver by Jonathan Swift, and it was open only until 2001. And in the year 2007 it was completely demolished. But until it was demolished, it received many visits. Even more so because one of its main attractions was a large construction of the giant in the middle of the park. Thus, it seems that the park ended up being more successful after its closure. Some buildings were even vandalized by graffiti, which further increased the feeling of walking in a dangerous place and the ruin of something that was once great. One of the possible reasons why the park was not as successful as expected and was closed is due to its location. He was near Aokigahara Forest, a place many Japanese people go to commit suicide. We can even make a video about it, leave it in the comments if you want. In addition, it was also in this forest that a terrorist group articulated and carried out an attack in Tokyo. However, there are legends that the place may even be haunted. And when it was in operation, many people avoided going to it because of the mystique that surrounds the forest. And that's it for today. If you liked the video, I ask you to let your like so that we can bring you better and better videos. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Leave in the comments what you think and if you want us to do a second part about abandoned parks. Also tell us if you have any suggestions for future videos. If you like the video, take the opportunity to access our channel and watch all our videos. That's all folks, see you next time.